Alright guys, so today we went to Menards to pick up some cornhole / beanbag board materials. We're going to show you what those were in a little bit and give you some instructions to create your own beanbag boards. Alrighty, now that we have our materials, we can start building. We have our two 8-foot 2x4s, one 12-foot 2x4, and the two 1/2-inch by 2x4 pieces of plywood. Those will be for the top of the board. The two 8-foot 2x4s will be for the frame, and the 12-foot will be for the legs and the bottom and top of the frame. We also have our two carriage bolts, 4 washers, and 4 wing nuts. Alright, so to create the frame, we're going to need two 4-foot 2x4s to make the long side of the frame. So we're going to take these 8-foot 2x4s and mark the 4-foot line to cut them in half on both of the 2x4s. Okay, now that we've marked our boards in half, we have to cut it. Okay, now for the second board. So now it's time to cut 1 foot and 9 inches of a section on the next 2x4 that's not cut yet. So we're gonna mark those right now. And then we're going to cut those 4 times. Those will be used for the top and the bottom of the cornhole board. So now we're going to cut this 12-foot 2x4 into a 1 foot and 9 inch section. We're going to have a 1 foot and 9 inch section. We're going to have 4 of those. And remember, all these are for 2 cornhole boards. So if you want to just do one, do half of the steps that we're doing. Alright, so now that we have all our pieces of wood cut, we're going to construct the frame. Okay, so now we're going to construct the frame of the beanbag board. And I'm going to put screws, 2 screws connecting these 2 boards. And just like that, on every corner, you drill a pilot hole, then drill the screw in there. And then we're going to put the board on top. So here we get the screws in easily. We take a bit that's a little skinnier than the screw for a pilot hole. We're going to drill it through both of the boards. So now we have our hole started. Now we throw the drill bit in. Take our screw and apply as much pressure as we can. To get that screw in there, just like that. Alrighty guys, now we've just finished the frame for the first corn toss board. Now we're just gonna throw the plywood right on there, but before we do that, we're gonna have to figure out a method to put the hole in the plywood and get it at the right spot on the board. So I'll figure that out and show you guys how to do that next. Alrighty, so we have our plywood set out, and the dimensions of where the hole is going to be located is 9 inches down from the top of the board, which is right there. And then it's going to be 12 inches from the side of the board, just like that. So we have our center point, which is right there marked for where we're going to cut the hole out. So now that we have the location of the hole, of where we have to cut, we're going to have to cut a 6 inch. The hole is 6 inches in diameter, so we're going to go 3 out on this side, 3 out on the other side to make a 6 inch hole that's 9 inches down from the top of the board and 12 inches over from the side of the board. Now we'll show you how we cut it. Alright guys, so now we have to cut out the legs for the cornhole boards. So we have a 13-inch section marked right there, another 13-inch section marked right there, and that'll just be for one board, the 2 legs for one board. And then we'll cut out 2 more 13-inch sections for the second cornhole board. So we're cutting them out right here, and then we're gonna have to round them with a bandsaw and then put a hole 1.5 inches down from the top of the legs to put the bolt through to fasten it to the frame. Alright, now you're going to need a circular item to trace out this is the top of the legs. So we're going to cut out with a bandsaw around there. So that when it rubs against the top of the beanbag board, it'll be able to fold nicely. For this, I just found a cup in my kitchen, which happens to be the right length to fit the whole 2x4. So now I'm just going to trace around it and then cut it out with a bandsaw on both of the 2x4s. So the 2x4 happens to be about 3.5 inches wide. So I'm just going to mark a dot right in the middle of the 2x4 to know where to cut the hole, so that way we can put the bolt through there, so that way it'll fasten to the frame of the cornhole board and it'll be able to swing up and down. As you can see, I have both the round edge marked out to cut with bandsaw and the hole in the middle to cut out, so that way we can let the legs fold inside of the board and we'll have the bolt be able to go through and fasten to the frame. So we're gonna have to drill the hole in the legs now to fasten it to the frame, and we're gonna have to put the bolts in that go through the legs and into the frame. So I found a drill bit that's about the same width as the bolt. So we're just gonna drill a hole 1.5 inches down from the top of the leg. And another reminder is that we're doing these holes in the cutouts on 4 legs for both of the cornhole boards. Okay, so now we're gonna drill the hole from we're gonna use the leg hole as a guide to drill the hole into the frame. So we're gonna wanna be able to fold the leg up to store it or whatever. So we're going to want to make sure before we drill it that this is going to be able to fold up nicely in there. So now that we have that, we're going to also want the top to be like an inch away-ish from the back of the board. So now we're just going to be able to drill the hole, right, using the leg hole as a guide to drill into the frame. Okay, so now to make sure it fits, we're going to be able to throw the bolt right through the back here, and then up through there, and then right into the leg hole. So as you can see, it'll fold right up to the side nicely, just like that. And then it'll also be able to swing to the back to keep the board upright. So now we'll be able to throw the washer and the wing nut right on there and fasten that later. Once we put the leg on the other side, so you're just going to do this step twice and then throw the leg onto the other side. It's about like 2.5 inches back from the frame. So if you want to do it that way with the hole, otherwise you can just kind of match up the leg to the board. But yeah, the hole is going to be 2.5 inches back, just about. And so then you're going to be able to put the bolt through the leg and the frame there. Yeah, you're going to be able to put the bolt through the leg and the frame to fasten it there, just as I did to the top here. So yeah, that's how you're going to assemble the legs. Alrighty guys, so here we are. Just finished assembling the legs. So as you can see, they're kind of slanted backwards a little bit because I left that gap in there. So we got the wing nuts tight on there with the washers behind them. So now they can just swing back and forth. And then they'll be at the perfect height right there. So we're at a good spot right now. Now we're just gonna have to put the top of the board on to the frame. Alright guys, so now we're just gonna fold up our legs to the frame. Now we're just gonna be able to lock it down here, just flat like that. And now we're gonna take the top here. We're gonna want the hole obviously towards the leg side. And then we're going to be able to screw, the top right onto the frame. Alrighty guys, so now we switched our drill bit to a Phillips head drill bit. And now we got the board rested on there, no screws in yet. We're just gonna start in each corner. We're gonna throw a screw just right in every corner. And then we're just kinda gonna throw screws all along the sides. All right, so we got our grip fast screws here. They're not terribly big, just small little screws, just enough to get through the 1/2 inch piece of plywood and into the frame. So as you can tell, we now have a screw in every corner. We're going to add screws kind of along the side here, and then one in the middle of the back and the front. And then we'll have the first bag completed. So as you guys can see, we finished the first beanbag board. And you're just gonna repeat the steps for the second beanbag board. So I'll just show the instructions to the first one, which I did with this board, and then you'll just copy the same for the other board. And then just another reminder that with the painting, you can just be creative and have fun with painting that. Strong.